name is Afruz Amighi. We're at Nickel Bush Inn Gallery, and this is my first solo show in New York City. It's called Cages. I was thinking a lot about being stuck here in the United States and not being able to go back to Iran during the events that sort of happened starting last summer. Like, here I am in my studio, you know, making these whimsical creations, and all this kind of stuff is going on in the place of my birth, and it was like a really surreal feeling. It felt like a perfect kind of metaphor for what was happening, was to construct these like very beautiful, tantalizing, almost decadent little sculptures. The piece that I made called Mesh is also, in some ways it's like a beautiful sparkly shawl, but it's also, when I made it, was kind of like I was making a fishing line. So it was another, you know, mechanism for entrapment. And I was very interested in how the relationship between, you know, arms manufacturing and nationalism worked. That, you know, people could be very excited and very sort of proud over something that was essentially a killing mechanism. And so I started making these one by one, and then the project just grew and grew as I found out about more and more missile tests that were being launched. I made each piece as a sort of representation of a missile that had been launched over the past 2 years. And I tried to sort of, in some cases, make them resemble kind of like a rocket. I've been working with this material for a few years. It's interesting, it's used in screen printing, but the other strange thing about it is that the UN uses it to erect refugee camps. It's used for the tent material. There's no like preconceived pattern. Here, this was just me doodling, with walls being erected, you know, all over the world to sort of separate people off. I felt like I wanted something to soften and make a little bit unreal that the harshness of a wall, and I felt like creating a layer of shadows might be able to do that. The lure that nationalism has, the hold or the grip that it has upon people, it can be very comforting, it can provide people with a sense of solace, but ultimately it's a cage. So that's really where the inspiration for the entire show came from.